Hello, I'm Not Movie Recaps, and this is the movie Godzilla and Kong. New Empire, Godzilla and Kong unite against a common enemy. The fearsome and cruel King Scar, who has enslaved the Titan Shimwa, wants to take over the entire planet, threatening the extinction of all life. The action of the film begins on the Hollow Earth, where prehistoric animals live. There lives the mighty Kong. Despite his size, the king of primates is pursued by packs of predators. Kong fights near a cliff. The leader falls into a pit, after which the monkey activates the second trap with a log, burying the predators with stones. Kong tears the carcass in half, splattered with green blood. Who needs this beaten Shrek? Think the surviving predators and run away. Having washed himself, Kong eats in a cave, distracted by a broken tooth and a cheeky lizard stealing food. Suddenly, he hears a roar similar to his own and goes to see his relative, but the source of the noise turns out to be an ordinary mocking frog. "My turf, dudes," she seems to say, disappointing the lonely primate, the last of his kind. The story moves to the surface. Dr. Aleem, an employee of the organization Monarch, explains that after their last meeting, Godzilla and Kong divided the territory. The primate lives inside the planet, and the lizard on the surface. Godzilla jealously guards his territory from other titans. After another victory, he falls asleep in the nearby Coliseum. Monarch's observation post in the Hollow Earth discovers a passage opened after the collapse to an unexplored area and a strange signal, about which Eileen reports. Her adopted daughter Dia, the last of the Ivy tribe, natives of Skull Island, where Kong comes from, experiences hallucinations caused by the signal. In a trance, the deaf-mute girl draws three mysterious figures. At home, Eileen realizes that they coincide with a signal graph from the Hollow Earth. To figure it out, Eileen goes to visit her old friend Bernie, who hosts podcasts about Titans. In exchange for help, Bernie wants to go to the Hollow Earth. The conversation is interrupted by a message from Monarch. Godzilla wakes up from hibernation. The Titan emerges from the Coliseum and wanders along the Tiber, roaring at annoying helicopters like mosquitoes. Monarch finds out that the reason for Godzilla's concern is Kong, who broke through from the Hollow Earth portal. Kong is worried about a sick tooth, and humans are the only familiar dentists. To treat him, they bring in the best veterinarian Tripper. He attaches ropes to Kong's sedated tooth and, after a couple of minutes, pulls out the fang with a root. Instead, a new tooth made of polymer composite is inserted. Bernie puts forward the theory that the mysterious signals from the depths are calls for help. To understand the root causes, Monarch equips a team led by Eileen. Meanwhile, Godzilla reaches France, where he destroys nuclear power plant reactors to feed on radiation. Aviation salutes him with missiles, greatly irritating him. With a burst of energy, the Titan destroys the annoying drones. Flying through the portal, people find themselves in the prehistoric Hollow Earth. Arriving at the observation post, they see that it is destroyed, and the personnel are dead. The primate, returning to the cave, senses a foreign presence. Having retrieved the X hidden from the previous series, Kong descends into the fissure that has formed. Spotting an exit, he goes outside into an even more underground kingdom. Kong sees a huge shadow in the mist, which turns out to be a red cup primate of his kind named Sukal. Kong extends his paw as a sign of friendship, but the cub bites him and runs away. The guest runs after him, but it turns out to be a trap. Three huge primates attack him. "I fought with Godzilla, you're just botanist," thinks Kong, throwing the hairy thugs off the cliff. When Sukal tries to scratch his face, the guest uses the cup as a weapon. One of the attackers almost falls into the abyss. Kong catches him in time and pulls him out. Not appreciating the kindness of the one he saved, he grabs a knife. With a cry of "This is Sparta," Kong returns it to where it came from into the abyss. Dealing with the bandits, Kong picks up the axe and orders Red to take him to the base, to explain to the locals that a new top predator has appeared in their food chain. People on the Hollow Earth almost fall when a flash of a strange signal almost knocks out the airplane's electronics. Dia says the signal is getting stronger, pointing to the source. Dia comes across traces of human activity with the writing of her people. The Ivy. They reach the ruins of an ancient temple, where they see a relief depicting the queen of monsters, a butterfly. A glowing dragonfly prompts Dia to press the irrigation system activation button. The water flow leads them to a giant organic wall that reacts to touch. Breaking through it, Dia finds a passage to the underground, just like in her dreams. Electrified, glowing like a Christmas tree, Godzilla crosses Spain heading towards the sea. Upon reaching the water, he dives into it, all mysterious and elusive. A submarine, observing his swim, determines that he is heading towards the North Icy Ocean, where, according to Monarch's data, the Titan Tiamat resides. In the underground realm, Sukal leads Kong to the shore of a lake. The cub invites him to drink and cool off, but it's a trap. Another Titan resides in the water. The serpent attacks the primate, coiling his tail around him and dragging him down. But Kong breaks free and quickly explains to the aggressor that he's now the first choice snack. Terrified, Sukal flees, but stumbles upon a precisely thrown axe. He's afraid Kong will punish him, but Kong does nothing. He even allows the hungry relative to feast on the water serpent. Slice into Rose, a human submarine in the icy ocean, witnesses the battle between Godzilla and Tiamat. The underwater serpent coils around the lizard, restricting its movement and covering its muzzle. But when Godzilla activates his energy beam, the remains of the opponent's surface. Eileen's group, delving into the cave, falls captive to the local Ivy tribesmen. They are led to their settlement, where strange energy installations powering portals to the surface of the planet are visible. The tribespeople silently scrutinize the strangers until the queen appears. Ivy brings Dia to her, seeing a telepathic girl from her tribe, capable, like them, of telepathic communication. Having read her life story, the queen orders the prisoners released. As they are not enemies, then they are taken to a natural history museum, illuminated by glowing liquid. Reliefs tell the story of the ancient titans' confrontation. Once, the king of primates Scar led his people to the surface to conquer it, but was defeated by Godzilla. The lizard imprisoned the king in the underground realm, but the hour of the final battle has not yet come. It will begin when the lost child of the tribe returns home and awakens Mothra. Godzilla's ally, Sukal, leads Kong across a bone bridge in the form of the spine of a deceased giant. Soon they arrive at the tribe of giant apes, toiling under the yoke of overseers for the king's benefit. Crowd condescends to them to offer help. When a disgruntled overseer growls at him, the guest administers a sedative into his jaw. Kong's victorious roar attracts the attention of the king, Scar the orangutan. He steps down from the throne in order to look at the contender for the role of alpha male. Two primates prepare for a clash, Kong with an axe, Scar with a bone whip with a crystal tip. The king skillfully dodges, delivering blows. He manages to snatch the axe from the contender and loop it around his neck. Kong throws him over himself, ready to continue the fight. However, sensing that he might lose now, the king orders his assistants to block the flow of lava with stones. Behind it is a dungeon for the Titan Shimwall, whom the orangutan controls with the crystal tip, causing pain in case of disobedience. The captive dinosaur attacks Kong with a frosty fresh breath, knocking the axe out and freezing his paw. Realizing that he's severely losing, Kong flees into the cave shown by Sukal, leaving the axe behind as a trophy for Scar. The king's lackeys chase the wounded Kong on the hollow earth. Kong lures them into a trap, but they notice a stretched rope and step over it. However, rocks suddenly fall from above onto their heads. Sukal activated the trap. Waking Kong leaves with his helpers, not noticing how the survivor emerges from the rubble. Observing them, Scar's servant finds the village of tribesmen and portals to the surface. He returns to report this to the king. Trapper notices the frostbitten paws and realizes that the nerves are damaged. The veterinarian suggests applying a prosthesis from a secret project, the prototype of which is kept in the armory of the observation post. Star, learning about the portals, saddles Shimwa and sets out with the Swede on another conquest campaign. On the surface, Godzilla, having devoured the energy reserves guarded by Tiamat, rises to full height with a crest repainted in a fashionable pink color. Trapper transports by plane from the armory to the village of tribesmen a cybernetic prosthesis to enhance Kong. It also contains horse doses of medical preparations. Sukal reports that Scar is approaching. Realizing that he won't survive the rematch match one-on-one, Kong goes through the portal to the surface to invite Godzilla for assistance. But people are afraid that the lizard will decide that the primate is encroaching on its territory and immediately start a brawl. To avoid this, they conduct a ritual to awaken Mothra. Dia climbs the steps to the top of the energy crystal, summoning the giant butterfly to the junction of the two worlds. Seeing the girl, it flies away with her to fulfill its destiny. The portal brings Kong to the desert near Cairo. Approaching the pyramids, he roars, inviting Godzilla to a constructive dialogue. The lizard, being in a completely different place, hears the call and responds, overcoming the distance by sea and ignoring the pitiful human bridges. Doped up, Godzilla charges into battle, ignoring Kong's attempts to reason with him. The primate throws sand in the lizard's eyes, but it doesn't save him from a powerful throw through himself. Kong delivers an uppercut with the new prosthesis, followed by ground and pound. Kong drags the knocked-out lizard by the tail to the portal, not noticing as he regains consciousness and activates his energy breath. The ape is forced to flee from the beam. In the raised sand curtain, Godzilla sneaks closer and topples the opponent, stomping him into the ground. The glowing butterfly calls for the fighting parties to unite to defeat their common enemies. The tribesmen prepare to destroy the energy crystals to close the portals to the surface. At that moment, Scar appears in the cave. By his order, Shinwo freezes the crystals, slowing down the self-destruction process. Kong and Godzilla emerge from the portal. They rush to Scar and Shinwo to beat each other up. However, the combined crystals change the gravitational fields, causing the battle to take place in zero gravity. Scar skillfully uses the whip and axe, attacking Kong while the lizards fight each other. The arriving Mothra wraps Scar's lackeys in silk, attacking the humans playing. Even the Red Cup contributes, accurately throwing stones. Shinwo activates the frost breath, nearly turning Godzilla into ice. Only Mothra's intervention saves the lizard. The butterfly also saves the plane when gravity suddenly returns. But the rest of the Titans, on the contrary, are pulled into the portal to the surface. They end up in the ocean, near Rio de Janeiro, a beautiful city. With a large statue, Shinwo's breath freezes the oncoming wave. Scar orders the dinosaur to continue freezing, but Kong's precise blow sends the king into a knockout along with a knocked-out tooth. Godzilla attacks Shinwo, preventing him from impersonating Sub-Zero. The monsters continue to throw each other, destroying the dense urban development along with the population. Godzilla, missing Scar with a beam, intercepts the whip with his teeth and bites it off. Releasing the crystal, Godzilla helps Kong, whom Shinwo is trying to freeze. The dinosaur doesn't suspect that Scar has lost the pain-inducing crystal. While the senior primates fight, trying to seize the crystal, Suko appears with an axe and cuts it. Kong and Godzilla pummel Scar with powerful blows until Shinwo realizes he is free and retaliates against the tormentor for years of captivity by freezing him. Kong throws the icicle to the ground, delivering a bone-crushing fatality. Mothra returns to Tia and Eileen and flies off to restore the protective veil at the entrance. Kong, Shinwo, and Suko return to their tribe, while Godzilla, curling up in the Colosseum, falls asleep until the next series. This is where the movie ends.